DC Studios is set to release a new plan titled DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters in December 2024, featuring the animated series Creature Commandos. The series will be followed by movies like Superman. Additionally, there will be an Elseworlds DC film, so let's jump into it. Superman. DC Studios' new Superman movie is less than a year away, and comic book fans are buzzing with excitement about the new Man of Steel in James Gunn's reboot of the DC Universe. Originally called Superman Legacy, this will be Superman's first solo film in over a decade, so the hype is real. The movie is set to hit theaters on July 11, 2025, making it one of the most anticipated summer blockbusters of the year. According to Variety, the upcoming Superman movie will follow Superman's journey to balance his Kryptonian roots with his life as Clark Kent in Smallville, Kansas. He embodies truth, justice, and the American way, guided by kindness in a world that often sees it as outdated. While details about the plot are still under wraps, James Gunn shared on Instagram that the story draws inspiration from several eras of comics. Gunn's influences include Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, Mark Waid's Kingdom Come, Jeff Loeb's A Superman for All Seasons, and Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. He also cited Richard Donner's Superman films, the 1941 animated Superman the Mad Scientist and Superman the Animated Series, as key influences. The upcoming Superman movie will primarily take place in Metropolis, Superman's iconic city. Cleveland was transformed into the fictional metropolis for filming, with notable landmarks like the Daily Planet appearing on screen. The Hall of Justice, the Justice League's base, will also feature in the film, with some scenes filmed in Cincinnati, inspired by the Cincinnati Union Terminal. But it won't just be Metropolis. Filming also took place in LaGrange, Georgia, which seems to be the location for Kent Farm, Superman's childhood home. Ma and Pa Kent will be key characters in the story. Additionally, the film will showcase Superman's Fortress of Solitude, with scenes filmed in Adventdalen, or Advent Valley in Svalbard, Norway, where Clark heads to his Arctic hideout. This will be the first live-action appearance of the fortress since Superman Returns in 2006. In the upcoming Superman movie, Lex Luthor will definitely be the main villain, causing trouble for the Man of Steel as expected. However, it looks like Superman will face more than just Luthor in this story. Said photos on X show Superman being arrested and escorted by the military, with some mysterious characters by his side, including Rick Flag Sr. and a tall masked figure in a black suit with a U on his chest. The mystery figure is reportedly Ultraman, a clone of Superman created by Luthor. In the comics, Ultraman is a darker version of Superman from an alternate universe, though it's possible that James Gunn will take a different approach with this version. While Gunn confirmed that Luthor would be the main antagonist, he hasn't denied Ultraman's presence, suggesting that Ultraman could be working on Luthor's behalf to fight Superman. Superman, the first film in James Gunn's cinematic universe, will feature a large cast of notable comic book characters, including those from the Man of Steel's corner of the world and DC heroes and teams like Wonder Woman, the Justice League, and the Green Lantern Corps. Many of these characters have not yet appeared in a live-action film, showcasing Gunn's ability to take overlooked comic book characters and turn them into household names. The confirmed cast members include David Corenswit as Clark Kent Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Eddie Cathegi as Michael Holt Mr. Terrific, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner Green Lantern, Anthony Kerrigan as Rex Mason Metamorpho, Maria Gabriela Di Faria as Angela Spica the Engineer, Sarah Sampaio as Eve Teschmacher, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Wayne L. Pierce as Perry White, Peter Taylor Vince as Jonathan Kent, Neva Howell as Martha Kent, Sean Gunn as Maxwell Lord, Beck Bennett as Steve Lombard, Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant, Christopher McDonald as Ron Troop, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., and Billy Alcock as Kara Zor-El Supergirl. Will Reeve, son of late Superman actor Christopher Reeve, will star as a news reporter. The Batman 2. The release of The Batman Part 2 has been pushed back to October 2, 2026, because of delays from the Hollywood strikes in 2023. This means fans are left waiting with not much news about the sequel, making its storyline a bit of a mystery for now. The Batman, released on March 4, 2022, has received mixed reviews for its unique take on the iconic character and its box office performance. Critics praise the film for its dark and atmospheric tone, resembling a crime noir rather than a traditional superhero movie. Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Batman is described as intense and emotional, capturing a version of the character that is angry, wistful, and very emo. The film focuses heavily on detective work, as Batman investigates a series of murders orchestrated by the Riddler. The cinematography is praised, with some calling it the best-looking Gotham City film yet. However, some reviewers argue that the nearly 3-hour runtime felt excessive, leading to pacing issues. In terms of box office success, The Batman performed strongly upon its release. It grossed over $770 million worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing films of 2022. The film's combination of critical acclaim and commercial success has solidified its place in the DC cinematic universe and set high expectations for potential sequels. While we're in a holding pattern for more details on Part 2, there's some cool stuff happening with the franchise elsewhere. HBO is working on the Penguin series, which keeps the same vibe as the first movie directed by Matt Reeves. This series is setting up Colin Farrell's character Oz Cobblepot to have a bigger role in the sequel, and might even introduce the main villain for it, especially since the ending of The Batman hinted at 2 potential foes for Batman to face in the next film. So we saw the Riddler pull off a major disaster by flooding Gotham City, which caused a ton of damage and loss of life. This situation could lead to some interesting storylines in Part 2. For instance, Killer Croc might emerge as a threat, taking advantage of the chaos to hunt people in the flooded city, giving Batman another detective case to solve. Alternatively, Mr. Freeze could show up and turn Gotham into his icy playground, really pushing Batman out of his comfort zone. Both characters could fit into the sequel if the flood remains a key element, but then there's also the ongoing gang war led by the Penguin, which could open up a whole new direction for the sequel's villain. While Penguin will definitely be back, this chaos could pave the way for Black Mask to step in as the main bad guy. In the comics, after the gang war, Black Mask took over as Gotham's crime boss, and with all the power struggles happening now, he could easily rise to prominence in the next film. Director Matt Reeves has made it pretty clear what kind of villains he's looking for in the sequel. In an interview with SFX magazine, he said they might explore some fantastical elements, but the overall vibe will stay grounded. This means characters like Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze probably won't make the cut, since they lean more towards the fantastical side. On the flip side, Black Mask fits right into the gritty world of the Batman Part 2, making him a strong candidate for the main bad guy. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. As part of Gunn's and Safran's new DC slate, we're getting a look at Supergirl. Based on Tom King's comic book series of the same name, this science fiction adventure will introduce a Supergirl that viewers are not used to seeing. We see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he's an infant, Gunn told Variety, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip off of Krypton and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. What we do know is who will be playing the character. House of the Dragon star Millie Alcock has landed the role. James Gunn recently shared that Millie Alcock was his top pick for Supergirl, thanks to her impressive performance as young Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon, which he felt showed her versatility and talent for bringing source material to life. Tom King, creator of the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, gave his stamp of approval on social media, calling Alcock perfect casting for the role. Alcock's portrayal of Rhaenyra demonstrated her range and ability to handle complex roles within big franchises, which makes her a solid choice for Supergirl. She reportedly beat out strong contenders, including Meg Donnelly and Emilia Jones, who were also finalists for the role. This experience and her clear talent suggest she'll bring depth and energy to the DC Universe's Supergirl. In September 2024, DCU's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow added Matthias Schoenaerts to its cast as the villain Krem of the Yellow Hills, according to The Wrap. This role aligns with the comic storyline, where Krem becomes Supergirl's main adversary as she pursues him across the cosmos. On the production side, The Hollywood Reporter noted that filming is set to begin in January 2025 in the UK, moving from pre-production to active filming, which supports the anticipated summer 2026 release. The timing is promising, especially since superhero release schedules have been a bit unpredictable recently. The release date was first confirmed back in May 2024, with Supergirl hitting theaters on June 26, 2026, setting high expectations for DCU fans. James Gunn announced Millie Alcock as the official Supergirl in January, after she and Meg Donnelly screen tested for the role. Alcock's casting was widely celebrated, as her previous roles suggest she'll bring a dynamic take on Jor-El. Another major update came in November 2023, when James Gunn confirmed Anna Nogueira as the movie's screenwriter. Gunn praised Nogueira's script adaptation, calling it above and beyond his hopes. She was originally set to work on a different Supergirl project, but with the DCEU's shift to the new DC Universe, her involvement with Woman of Tomorrow hints that her vision for the character was exceptional. The Brave and the Bold. The movie will follow Batman and his son Damian Wayne as Robin, giving us our first new look at the duo since Joel Schumacher's 1997 cult classic that starred George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell in the titular roles. Andy Muschietti will direct. It's a strange father and son story about the two of them and based on Grant Morrison's run of the Batman, Gunn explained. Though casting is yet to be announced, this particular Batman won't be Robert Pattinson's Batman and will have no connection to the Matt Reeves film. But let me tell you one thing, I'm genuinely more excited for The Brave and the Bold than The Batman Part 2 because it's finally giving us a big screen take on a key part of Batman's story, the Bat Family. Now don't get me wrong, I love Matt Reeves' The Batman and am looking forward to Part 2, plus the Penguin spin-off. But The Brave and the Bold has a unique edge for me. James Gunn has confirmed that the Bat Family will be a central focus, with Damian Wayne's relationship with Bruce as the core of the story, and other Bat Family members involved too. Seeing a fully developed Bat Family in live action is something I've been hoping for. And while DC's Titans brought us multiple Robins and other members, the series had its highs and lows. With The Brave and the Bold, there's real potential for a well-crafted, fully realized Bat Family that could be the best part of Batman's world. Damian's introduction in The Brave and the Bold should mean that core Bat Family members like Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood are already part of the DCU. I'm really looking forward to seeing the unique dynamics these characters have with each other, which the comics and other media have shown so well. It'd be awesome if the DCU dives deep into these relationships. Having a broodier Bruce Wayne mentoring and working with younger heroes adds layers to his character, showing sides of Batman we don't often see in live action. The Bat Family has always brought out the best in Batman, and introducing them could make the DCU's version of him more complex and interesting than ever. I just can't picture Robin showing up in The Batman Part 2. With Matt Reeves' grounded approach, it's hard to imagine a kid in a bright costume fighting alongside Robert Pattinson's Batman. Even though The Batman ended on a note that hinted at Bruce becoming a more hopeful figure for Gotham, which could have been a cool setup for Dick Grayson, it doesn't seem likely. James Gunn already dismissed rumors of Robin appearing in The Batman Part 2. Last December, there was talk about Dick Grayson's Robin, along with villains like Professor Pig and Scarecrow joining the movie. Gunn shot that down, saying, "Nope, totally made up." With those rumors laid to rest, The Brave and the Bold is looking even more appealing, since it's the DCU project where we could actually see a true Bat Family take shape in live action. I think the DCU has a real chance to bring the most comic-accurate Batman to life. We've already had plenty of grounded takes, like Christian Bale in Batman Begins and Robert Pattinson's early Batman. With The Brave and the Bold, I'd love to see the DCU lean into Batman's comic roots, bringing in some of his more fantastical villains, like Clayface, and fully embracing the larger shared universe. There are so many Bat Family characters that have never been featured in live action, and I think it's time we see Batman in a world where he's a mentor to a team and an ally to heroes, like the Justice League. We've missed out on seeing a Batman who's older, maybe in his late 30s or 40s, with an established Bat Family around him, balancing those relationships and responsibilities. It'd be amazing to see a Batman who's a bit further along, interacting with other heroes in a way that really opens up the DCU. Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing horror film in James Gunn's DCU marks a thrilling expansion into darker storytelling. This movie, part of DC Studios' Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters lineup, will dive into Swamp Thing's origins as Alec Holland, a scientist transformed into a monstrous creature of the swamp after a tragic lab accident. His character, rooted in grief and memory, has a history reaching back to 1971, created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. James Mangold, now directing the film, is crafting it as a gothic horror tale that draws from classic monster movies like Frankenstein, focusing on creating a standalone atmospheric horror experience rather than linking it to a larger universe. Mangold's vision is to give Swamp Thing a suspenseful, self-contained narrative. Gunn and Peter Safran's choice to make Swamp Thing the DCU's first horror film shows their commitment to exploring new genres within the superhero space, blending suspense and horror to highlight the character's monstrous elements. Interestingly, Swamp Thing was almost brought to life by Guillermo del Toro, who had plans for a Justice League Dark movie in the early 2010s that included Swamp Thing alongside characters like John Constantine and Zatanna. However, those plans were scrapped, leaving this horror-themed take as the most promising adaptation yet. With plot details still under wraps and the release date yet to be revealed, fans can expect more updates in the coming months. The film aims to be a unique standalone horror piece within the DCU, promising to be a chilling departure from typical superhero fare. Well, that's it. Let me know which movie you are most excited about in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest update. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you at the next one.